Okay, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to upgrade your ignition system. So, the ignition system is made up of a few parts. Today we're going to be going over the ignition coils along with your fuel supply, which will be your pump. Now, the first thing is the type of car or engine we are going to be using is our current build, which is going to be a 1998 Honda Accord. So, the Honda has a four-cylinder, so it's going to be generalized around the four-cylinder now, not so much the year, just the Honda four-cylinder. Now, the first thing that we need to look over is the ignition coils. Now, the ignition coils is a big part. It's what holds your spark plug into place. That a spark plug and the ignition coil has your fuel injector and the spark plug all in one setup. I do believe. No, that I take that back. Just the spark plug. So um, the the fuel injectors, we'll talk about that later in another video, so make sure to subscribe and follow. However, the ignition coils, what it does is basically takes a low voltage, which the low voltage is sent from the battery, from a 12-volt battery, and then it turns it into a high voltage burst. So 30,000 volts is what goes in, 100,000 volts is what goes out to your spark plug. And then what the spark plug does is basically turn that high voltage into a spark. So that being in mind, the best brands for the Honda full cylinder that AI and Google and I recommend on a personal level is NGK and Denesto. Some of these I'm not sure how to pronounce these, but usually anything with OEM is basically like your standard piece, which is usually really good straight from the factory. NGK is great for spark plugs as well as coils. So definitely keep that in mind when you're shopping for them. Now, so your fuel delivery system, now I recommend upgrading both at the same time, your fuel pump along with your ignition coils. And I forgot to put in here, make sure you upgrade all three of these components, your ignition coils and your fuel pump, as well as your fuel injectors, to make sure the whole system is running as one piece, especially if you're doing performance. Now, there's different brands for reliability. However, True Speed focuses on performance as far as engine parts and engine builds and so forth. So, for your fuel pump, we're gonna talk about brands, performance. The first brand is Basco. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. However, for that first brand, I do recommend braking fluid. I do use that, and I'm using that same braking fluid from that brand in this current car as well, and there will be videos on that as well, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And the other one is Wellbrow. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You also have a high fuel pump brand, which is also DW, and a high flow sub for more to switch a car to ethanol for high performance on the track. Now there's a lot of components that go into that. You have to get ignition coils, fuel injectors, all that has to go with your ethanol, because that's different gas and everything. And you have to change your pistons and everything in the combustion. You have to change a lot. So only research that stuff if you're going to build a track car, because yes, you can drive it like a daily, or if you're a car guy, your track car is your daily. But just keep in mind that you're going to have to change a lot of components to switch your vehicle to ethanol. So, and then your delivery system, of course, you want to change your lines and hoses. First, I recommend your quick release. Quick releases is always super easy for maintenance, and especially when you're on the track. If you break or blow a fuse, it will be easy to change out and replace. So, um, a quick release hose for cooling. There are some brands out there. I've listed them, and here you can zoom in on your screen and see the brands. But it's PTFE lined stainless steel or nylon beaded lines with NA fittings. Much Make sure you check all your sizes and hoses and lines before you change them, obviously. So definitely make sure you do that. And this is the end. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.